Hello, hello. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I'm your host, Leslie Nance, and tonight we're going to be talking about our greatest resource in our lives, like the whole of your life. That's going to be the topic tonight for the Cancer Coach Talks. It's good to have you guys here. Thank you so much for those of you that are joining so quickly. It's wonderful to be here with you live this Tuesday evening. Let me introduce myself super fast. Just like it says right there. It says right there. Couldn't make it happen for some reason. Just like it says right there, my name is Leslie Nance. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, a certified holistic cancer coach, and a 7+ year cancer survivor. I come here on Tuesday nights, just sharing a little wisdom and a little mindset with you, maybe helping you reframe a little bit, maybe how you're feeling about your cancer journey, or maybe what you're experiencing. There's a lot going on in the world right now, so sometimes it's just kind of a little comforting notion as well to share with you. But tonight I want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. And I talk about it a lot with the people that I coach. And so I am excited to come here and share just a little bit of that wisdom with you here tonight. So let's say hi to a couple of people. I see Rosette is here tonight. Hi, Rosette. I love you so much. And I'm so stinking proud of you and all the work that you're doing. Hi, Melissa. It's good to have you here this evening. Andrea's here. Janice is here. Hi, Janice. Anne is here. It's good to have you. If you're here and you've not left a comment, I cannot see that you're here. Like you, I know people are here, but I can't see that it's you. Ninja fingers. Yeah. Until you actually leave a comment. So, hello, Tracy. Hi, Juan. Hi, Babette. My gorgeous Babette. Yes. So we're gonna get just like we always do, just jump right in and share some information with you. So, okay, I'm gonna say your name correctly. Concetta. Oh man, and you can't even tell me how to say it. So welcome. It's good to see you. I'm really bad with enunciation of names, just seeing it from the spelling. You tell me once, I can say it over and over again, but to read it, not so hot at that. Hello, dyslexic. Okay, so the title of this was Our Greatest Resource. Did I do okay? Okay, awesome. Uh, so the title of this talk tonight is talking about our greatest resource. And a lot of people really feel like that their greatest resource is money. This is one thing that, especially if you're not struggling with your health, that you would feel like is one of your greatest resources is your financial acuity or your financial standing or the fact that you have money or the fact that you make good money or even the lack of money can make you feel like that it's one of your greatest resources. But indeed, it is not. Our greatest resource, and everything stems back to this one principle. Our greatest resource is time. How much time that we have. And so it's my belief that time really leads us back to all of the other resources that we experience in our life, including our health. Because a lot of you went, my greatest resource is your health, but your health, your money, your family, whatever it is that you consider one of your greatest resources, all starts with one simple principle, which is time. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, when you think about time, you have to think about the idea that you can't buy more of it. You can't borrow it. You know, people talk about, you've heard the saying, living on borrowed time. But indeed, you cannot borrow time. You can't make more of it. You can extend the amount of time that you have here on this earth, but you can't make more of the resource. It expires every single day. If you think in a 24-hour cycle, and there are a lot of people that think about the quantum world where you are nothing, nowhere, no time, you're in no time or no space, then the 24-hour world is non-existent. That's kind of like next level kind of stuff. So if you're not there, it's okay. Hi, Jennifer. It's good to see you. So, but thinking about time as one of our greatest resources, it expires every single day. You know, if you think about from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to sleep, your waking hours, even the time that you're awake, really feels like a finite thing. It is our most limited resource. And no doubt, when you were diagnosed with cancer, the first thing you thought about was how much time do I have? How much longer will I get to experience this life? Now, that's not 100%. Not everybody thinks that. But a lot of people, that's one of their first thought processes. Oh my goodness, I'm going to die and therefore run out of time, run out of that resource. And it becomes really, really valuable. We almost get to a point we start obsessing about it, wanting more of it, wanting to be here on the planet longer, wanting to live longer, to be with our loved ones, to see our children grow up, to watch our watch our families change and grow and be, to see a specific event in history, whatever that is. Everybody always has a sensation. We think about time and getting to that next point in time. And because it's our most precious resource, I want you to just take a moment. Let's just take a moment. I'm going to time it on the clock. In 20 seconds, I want you to close your eyes. Now 15 seconds, or about 15 seconds. I want you to close your eyes. We're going to sit there for 1 minute. And I want you to think about how you think about time. I want you to try to quantify what time means to you. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, end. Now, for some of you, just sitting in silence, me not saying anything for an entire minute was incredibly uncomfortable. Even though we're not in the presence of one another, even though you're just watching a video. And if you just popped in and you're like, and you're popped in halfway through and you're like, what in the world is she doing? I must not have sound. You might have popped back out and popped back in thinking you didn't have any sound. Or you could hear my dishwasher running, which is right there. But but indeed, time is an asset. Time is a resource. Time is valuable, more valuable than any currency on the planet. And so, what did you find out? If you guys want to type in the comments, in that minute, what did you think about when you thought about time? Did you find yourself wanting more of it? Did you think that that took forever? Let's type in the comments and kind of have an interaction here. And you guys tell me your thoughts. I'm going to keep going and we'll read some of those comments as we go along. But what did you think about when you think about that asset or that whole minute that we sat in the quiet? For some of you, it was like, wow, that was really fast. I didn't have enough time to get all my thoughts out. And for some of you, it was like deafening, right? Jen is saying it seemed very long, right? I know, it was 1 minute exactly to the second. It was lost opportunities and time you can't get back. There you go. I like it. Thank you for being honest. Janice is saying it went faster than I thought it would. It's very interesting, isn't it? Right? But a minute sleeping goes much faster, right? We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. Ask yourself, is it just numbers on a clock? Is it hours in a day? Is it days in a week? Is it months in a year? Is it years left? Is that how you're measuring time? Because I will tell you right now, whether you have cancer or not, you never knew how many years you have left. And there's no doctor on the planet that can tell you that. So if you've had a doctor speak those kinds of words over you, then you need to do your best to do the mindset work to erase that, because they don't know. That's just a statistical number, and people beat statistics all day, every day, all day long. And I'm not talking about extraordinary people. I'm not talking about unicorns. I'm not talking about people that are just like, oh, they must have some secret sauce. I'm talking about ordinary people like you and me beating those statistics. I'm one of them. They gave me a year. Your cancer will be back in a year, and it will be all over your body. There won't be anything we can do for you. Imagine that. Some of you have heard you have this amount of time to live. Some of you have heard from your doctors, I don't know how much time that you have. But how are you quantifying that? What is it to you? Thank you guys for sharing. Anne says time is so different now that most of us are on stay at home, right? Especially being alone. I hear you 100%. Rosette says holding on to good memories. I love that. Hi, Vicki. It's good to see you. Hi, Eugene. Thank you guys for popping in. It passes slowly when we're waiting for things. So if you're waiting for biopsy results or scan results or a call from your doctor, it can seem like the longest ever time ever. This is never going to end. I am never going to get that call. I am never going to hear my biopsy results. And it can seem like every element of time has stood still. But it flees when we're on the phone with a friend. We're talking about good things, when we're sharing experiences with people that we love. It passes so quickly. When we're on vacation. How many of you have ever been on vacation before and you're like, how can it already be the day that we're leaving? That happens to me all the time. I'm like, how could it possibly be the day that we are already leaving? Time passes quickly when we're having fun. You've heard that saying, time flies when we're having fun. My husband is a clock repairman. You'd think that he would focus on time a lot, and he does, the mechanical keeping of time. And a lot of clocks, and you may have one of these clocks in your house, a lot of clocks say Tempus Fugit on it. Tempus Fugit, and it means time flees. Some people think it means time flies, but it actually means time flees. And it does for all of us. And it's a precious resource. We have belief systems in place based on our emotions, based on our experience, based on our past, that tell us that there's no end in sight. Now, this is very true for people that have ever had back injuries. If you have ever had a back injury, maybe you have cancer in your spine and there's some pain there. If you've ever had any type of pain in your trunk area from your hips to your shoulders, especially to do with your back or your spine, even your hips, it can really make you feel like that it is going on forever and ever and ever and ever, and that you will never feel good again. This is especially true because that is where all of our spinal column has all of our central nervous system in it. And so it's a very sympathetic feeling. And so time tends to stand still when we're in pain, when we're in depression, when we're lonely, when we're angry, when we're sad, when we're frustrated, when we're in overwhelm. Time feels like it's standing still. We want so desperately to move forward in our lives, but we have a hard time doing that. We have a hard time getting past into that next belief system. And it's hard sometimes, especially if you're dealing with like a stage 4 cancer, a metastatic cancer that has been a progress over time. And it feels like it could take forever. But there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not an oncoming train. It's a beautiful light, it's a beautiful dawn, and that is where your healing is. And so you have to keep marching towards that. Some of us are great at managing this resource, and some of us poo poo maroo it away. Some of us are great at time management. No, not so much. That's not so much me. I'm okay at it. I do a lot in a day. But, right? Rosette saying feeling pain feels like forever. For sure, it does. Pain is one of our biggest time blocks. It just goes on forever and ever. And we wish our days away so that the pain hopefully will go away, especially if we think we're going to get some help in the future for it. When we're young, it can't go fast enough. Anybody remember being 15 years old and knowing that you were going to get your driver's license when you were 16? In some states, in Texas, it was always 16. You were going to get your driver's license when you were 16, and 15 felt like forever. It was the longest year of your life waiting for yourself to turn 16. How about when you were 20 and you were going to turn 21? You were drinking age, voting age. No, voting age is 18, I think. I'm not sure though. But you couldn't wait to turn 21. A lot of our youth is spent wishing, hoping, wanting to be older so we can do the things that, adults do. We want to do that. And then when we're older, all we can think about is being young again. And that's the kind of tricks that time plays on us. That old switcheroo. At some point, that switches over. And that's the same thing that happens in our cancer journeys. Somebody mentioned regret. Wishing they had taken more time to do the things that they love. Why not do them now? There's never been a better time. What's stopping you? I know some of you are like, cancer? Really? Because I have people that are living fantastic lives that are dealing with active cancer. Everybody's limited to that right now, but still living extraordinarily wonderful lives. There is no better perspective on the world than cancer. If I could bottle that perspective that cancer gives you in your life and sell it on Amazon, I would be a billionaire. That perspective, that dialing in, that awareness that things and people and moments and time are important. Imagine if you had had that when you were 15 years old. Imagine if you had that perspective where you could have lived in every single moment to its fullest. Imagine if you had it now, what that looks like, what that feels like. If you weren't always rushing off to work, you always weren't rushing the kids off to sports. If you always weren't rushing to do this and having to do that, and we got to do this and don't forget that. We could stop and say, hey, here's a new way of looking at things. And guess what? Guess what? You have that opportunity always to make that happen in your life. If you're living in lack, if you're living in lack of time, lack of money, lack of health, lack of gumption, lack of being brave, lack of proper care, lack of support, lack. If you're living in that, you're going to have a hard time appreciating time. You're going to have a hard time appreciating what cancer has come here to teach you. But if instead you choose to reframe that and say, no, I am not going to let you rob me. I am going to take back control of what I know to be true. And use one of your most valuable assets as if it's limited. What if you lived every single day like it was your last? What would you do on that day? Think about that perspective. Think about what that would give you. There's songs about it. So I wanted you to ponder your own feelings about time. And I want you to gain a respect for it. If you're flaky and you say you're going to be somewhere and you don't show up, quit. Get a grip. If you're always running late, stop. Start early. Plan your time. Quit being late. It's not funny or cute or anything like that. Oh, I'm always late. Isn't that cute? No, it's not. My clients will say to me, when you say you're going to call at 2:00, it's 2:00 on the nose. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, because I take this very seriously. I want to respect your time. I want to respect those moments that we have together. I want to make every single second on that phone call count for the time that we have together because it's limited. If you feel like you need more time, then learn to manage it. Learn to manage the thing that you feel like is taking it away from you. Whether it's family or cancer or job or whatever. And you may be going, Leslie, you just make it sound so easy, like I can wave a magic wand. No, it's not easy. You got to do the work. You got to make the decision. You got to draw a line in the sand and say, I am choosing to be different. You are always in 100% control, not cancer, not your job, not your family, not whatever. It's always you. You control you. What you do with your resources is always up to you. You always make those decisions. So, whatever you do, stop wasting it. Stop wasting time. Stop. I used to be the world's worst at just wasting time away. And it's not that I have to be busy. This isn't about being busy all the time. In fact, it's about not being busy all the time. It's about taking time to appreciate the things that are valuable in your life. I had to get up this morning. I had clients all day today. I have literally been on the phone all day today, either with potentials or current clients. And I'm not complaining, by the way. That's my life. That's what I do for a living. And I had to get up this morning because Penny Lane, my dog, she's not here. She was going on doggy vacation and I wanted to take her out for a walk before she went overnight. She's getting groomed tomorrow. She went overnight to play with her puppy friends. I wanted to make sure that she got a walk, but I also wanted to do yoga and I also wanted to spend my 45 minutes in meditation. And I needed to wash my hair this morning, which for this is kind of a big deal. So I needed, because I wanted to look pretty when I got here tonight. So no, if it worked or not, but anyway, but I had these things that I wanted to do. So I needed to manage my time this morning to get everything that I wanted done. But it wasn't all about being busy. It was about taking care of myself. It was about taking care of my dog. And I love doing those things. It was worth getting a little bit up a little bit early for. It was worth getting up a little bit early so that I can wash my hair today. Feels great, by the way. I hadn't washed it in like 4 days. So it was time to wash it. But it was important to me. So I used that resource very, very carefully this morning. Very dedicated to that. Making sure that I stayed on time with my clients today. Making sure that I left enough time to spend with each client that needed me today. Making sure I left enough time for me to have lunch and make dinner for my husband before I came here with you guys. All of that is very, very important. So I'm going to end tonight's broadcast with a parable that I would like to read to you. This is a parable that you may have heard before, so bear with me if you have. I'm going to have to put on my little reading glasses because you know. But I'm going to read you this little parable. This is a very famous parable that, I'll just read it and then we'll just have a quick discussion about it. But so just listen in. A professor stands before his philosophy class and picks up a large empty mayonnaise jar. Don't eat mayonnaise, by the way. But anyway, I hope he didn't eat all that mayonnaise. Okay, anyway, Squirrel. I just totally got on track when I heard mayonnaise. A large empty mayonnaise jar. On the table beside the jar are separate containers of golf balls, pebbles, sand, and water. The professor fills the jar with golf balls and asks the student, "Is the jar full?" Half the class said yes, but half the class said no. There's still space between the golf balls. The professor then poured the pebbles into the mayonnaise jar and shakes it lightly so that the pebbles settle into the open areas between the golf balls. And again, he asked the students, "Is the jar full?" Once again, half the class said yes, but half said no. There's still space between the pebbles. The professor now pours sand into the mayonnaise jar and shakes it so that the sand fills up all the remaining spaces between the pebbles. He asked again, and the students all said, or he asked again, "Is the jar full?" This time, most of the students agree, yes, the jar is full. But one insightful student says, no, there's still space between the grains of sand. The professor smiles. He then pours a significant amount of water into the apparently full mayonnaise jar, filling all the invisible empty spaces between the golf balls, the pebbles, and the sand. The students laugh. Now he doesn't have to ask if the jar is full, but instead he says, "What if I had put the water in first, or the sand, or the pebbles? The golf balls wouldn't have fit into the jar without something overflowing." This is a reminder for you to pay attention to the big things that are most important to your life and your happiness. Playing with your children, spending time with your parents, visiting with your grandparents, working on your health. Take time to exercise, eat well, and get good rest. Spend some time in nature. Hold hands with your spouse, and take some time for yourself. Take care of the big things, the golf balls first. If you put the big stuff in first, the stuff that really matters, the small stuff will find a way to fit in. And if it doesn't, it's just sand or pebbles anyway. And I love, love, love this idea of time and thinking about it like this. If you feel like that you are struggling, if you feel like that you are missing out because of a cancer diagnosis, then you need to focus on the things that are big and most important. And if that's your health and getting well and beating cancer, which is totally possible, there's not a single one of you in here that cancer is your destiny. Not a single one of you. Not replay, not here, none of you. Cancer is your destiny. And so, but thinking about using the big things, the things that are most meaningful for us, and putting those things in our lives first, it just means that all the small stuff will find a way of fitting in, if it needs to fit in at all. And so, I just want to take that moment to share with you the perception of time, thinking about time, using it as your greatest asset and your greatest resource. Because I promise you that anybody that I have ever known, that I have been with, or that I have talked to that was dying of cancer, never for 1 second wished that they had spent more time at work, or wish that they had spent more time arranging the pillows on their bed, or that their kitchen would have been cleaner, or that their laundry would have been done on time. They wished that they had more time with their family, that they had spent more time on the things that were most important to them, that they would have used their resources as currency and made it as precious as the other things that we think are valuable in our lives. All right, that's all I have for you guys tonight. If you're interested in taking that next step in your health and you need somebody to stand there one on one with you and stand beside you and love you through this process, I just might be your gal. I am a certified holistic nutritionist, a certified holistic cancer coach. I bring principles like this to the doorstep of your cancer journey and teach you how to live your life in a whole, healed way. I am not curing cancer. Let's be crystal clear. But I'm there to support you so that you can find your pathways to heal your cancer. I love you guys so much. If that interests you, please take a moment to reach out to me, either here at any stage, in my private in my Facebook page, Leslie Nance, wherever. I'll put my phone number up if that's what you want. Whatever. I am accepting clients right now. We do have some special pricing going on right now because of the COVID. I don't know how long that will last. We had only 5 spots and we actually opened up 5 more. So I have a couple of those spots left. If you're interested, one-on-one cancer coaching, I would love to help you through that process. So, all right, let's go look at a couple of questions, a couple of comments, right? Okay. Thank you, Babette. Right? Let's see. Let's see what Vicky says. Vicky says, you never had time to stop and smell the roses. Then when cancer comes on, you search for the roses with tears. I understand, Vicky. It's a tough road, but it's okay. It's all right. We can do this, and you can affect that change in your life. You can change your path. You can change what happens to you. I see people do it every single day, and a lot of them are here right now with us. Amazing women, amazing warriors that have taken back their life from their cancer. Love you bunches, Vicky. Thank you for your sweet words there. Okay, let's see. I love walking my dog and taking walks with my husband. Me too. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I love to go on. In fact, we'll go on a walk tonight without Penny Lane. And if people are out in the neighborhood, they'll be like, where's Penny? They'll be sad not to see her. Hi, Nancy. Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you, Nancy. Thank you so much for being here. Love you bunches. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's good to see you, Tracy. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. I don't consider myself a philosopher, but I'll take that. That would make my husband laugh. Oh, goodness. Eugene. Oh, my God, those giant hornets behind you. Don't turn around. There he is on the wall. That's my bee. Do you guys, nobody's ever asked me about my bee painting. Do you guys want to know the story behind the bee? I'll be happy to share it with you. I love you too, Miss Janice. Okay. No questions tonight? Anybody have any questions that you want to stick in in those comments before we pop out of here? While you're doing that, I'll tell you the story of bee, right? I'll tell you the story of the bee painting. So my best friend, Jennifer Davey, who is an artist, painted bee, and it was hanging in a show. And I have several of her pieces of art throughout the house. She's an amazing artist. She does more abstract now, but that bee was, I just love that bee. And I'm highly allergic to bees, but I love bees. In fact, I try to get them to come to my garden because I love them so much. But that bee painting is very special to me because my husband bought it for me on our second anniversary, our second wedding anniversary, which was our bee anniversary. Get it? A B. So that's my bee anniversary. So that's why it's so special for me. And the ukulele that you see hanging over my shoulder, I bought in Hawaii on the island of Oahu, which is my necklace, by the way. I'm full of symbolism, aren't I? Which is the island of Oahu, which is on my necklace, which is very near and dear to me. It's where my healing journey actually began. It was on the, oh gosh, this will make me cry, on the North Shore of Oahu. About 2 months after I was diagnosed, I had not done anything. I'd not had surgery. I'd not had any cancer treatments. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. This was in 2013. I was diagnosed in 2012, and this was the first 2 months of 2013. And we made our first trip to Hawaii. And I can't tell this story without crying. And there, we were on the North Shore of Oahu, which are these giant, big, giant waves. The waves were, in fact, I just watched a video a couple days ago from that trip, and that I had taken, and the waves were breaking right offshore on the North Shore of Oahu. It's a famous big surf community and the big waves. That's where a lot of the big wave surfers are anyway. And I was sitting on the beach one afternoon, and the trip was almost over, and it was time had fled very quickly. And we always make the joke, Leslie gets cancer and then she goes on vacation. Uh, and I was sitting on the beach. I was sitting by myself. I was actually waiting for my husband to join me. He was just finishing stuff up in the house, um, and I was just kind of saying goodbye to the healing presence that I had felt. And I was trying to make, geez, oh Pete, I'm very emotional about this. And I was trying to make a decision about whether I was going to do chemo or not, and if I was going to have my breast removed. And I was making big decisions. And I was sitting on the beach, and I was watching these giant 30-foot waves crash at about 50 yards off the beach where I was sitting, and it almost made the ground rumble, and it was just loud. You had to almost scream to talk to one another. And I was just sitting there watching these waves, and I thought about how far that they had traveled to crash on that shore. And I was thinking about their energy. They had had all that energy for so long, just this consistent energy. And then they met up with the shore and made this powerful explosion. And I thought to myself, how awesome would it be if I could capture some sort of power in my life to heal myself and to have a really good understanding about what comes next and why I need to, what I need to do to heal my body. And I was sitting right there. And in that very moment, I made all my decisions about what I was going to do and how I was going to heal. And it felt supernatural, and it felt spiritual, and it felt a deep connection to that moment. And so I wear my Oahu necklace. My husband gave me this as well. Actually has a heart on the back of the clasp that says L&R on it. My husband's name is Robin. And as a reminder that I do have that power, and that I do have that perspective, and I do have that energy, not only to heal my life, but to help other people heal theirs. And so I wear that as a reminder, and my ukulele is there to also remind me. And please don't ask me to play it because I can't. I've tried several times. So that's a big part of why I do what I do, is gaining that perspective of having that moment in time that is so vivid to me that I can recall in a second in my mind of that healing energy that came to me in that very moment. And it wasn't it wasn't like the ocean speaking to me or anything. It was just a moment in time that is frozen there forever, that I knew that I had that kind of energy, that I had that kind of power, and not only for myself, but that I could share it with other people. And that journey started right there in that moment. And cancer not only became a blessing in my life, it became the ultimate blessing, the ultimate perspective, that moment in time, that significance that puts me on a path to help as many people as I can heal their lives. That's why I do what I do. So there you go. Didn't even plan that. That was not any, I was nowhere in the notes tonight. Oh goodness. I can never tell that story without bawling like a baby. So, yes. All right, you guys, I love you so very much, right? I love it. Oh, good for you. Good for you. I love you guys so much, and such a pleasure always to be here with you and to love you through this journey. No matter if you're my client or not, still loving you and holding you high in this journey, and seeing every single one of you without any cancer in your body is just, that's how I see you. I see your little profile pictures, and I don't see you as a cancer patient or having cancer. I see you whole and complete and without any cancer in your body. So yeah. All right, you guys. Sorry, bawling on camera. My goodness. All right. I will see you next Tuesday for Cancer Coach Talks. Have an amazing weekend. Please feel free to reach out to me. If you feel like that you need more help and more love through this process. I am happy to do that. Thank you, Vicki. That is very That is an amazing thing that you just said to me. You made my day. Thank you for that. It's very sweet. I'll show you guys if you didn't see it in the comments. What a wonderful thing to say. Thank you. You touched me very deeply with that. I love you too. All right, guys. Good night. I'm already past, like 10 minutes past. I gotta go for my walk now. Bye.